Damn. Hello, welcome to Lemon Studios, home of the Lemmy vs. Limey games. I'm your official Zeke Lamone, and today they face off in the 90s classic Pretty Woman, directed by Gary Marshall, and it stars Julia Roberts as Vivian and Richard Gere as Edward. Now, we are doing a first here on the channel, as I have never seen this movie myself, so I don't even know where it's going to land on the Lemon scale. Will Lemmy keep his streak alive, or will Limey finally have his time to shine, since I am a little more critical when it comes to rom-coms? Well, let's find out. Act 1 kicks off at a party, and everyone's asking Philip Stuckey, played by Jason Alexander, where Edward is. He is saying that he is probably charming some lady, but really he is dumpy one, and then decides this party is lame and leaves. And he's trying to learn stick shift in the process so he can get to Beverly Hills, 'cause that's where he wants to be. Hey, it's Vivian, and she is getting ready for the night. She escapes through the fire escape, and that's actually on my bucket list. Don't ask why, 'cause I don't even know. Just looks like fun. She is looking for Kit, who is played by Laura San Giacomo, and she is asking about rent money because it's not like they have 525,600 minutes to get it. While talking about their financial problems, Vivian asks Kit, "Do you ever want to get out of here?" She meets this crap neighborhood, but Kit thinks that she just means the bar, so they go outside. There they see an outside hooker, and they tell her to go on and get, because this is their yard. And I really like how the film shows the two different lifestyles of our two leads. While Edward can actually just go out and get whatever he wants, while Vivian actually has to scrap and claw and actually be sneaky in some ways to just get on by. Edward then parks at Vivian's corner because he cannot drive stick shift and he's trying to remember how. Vivian's like, "I can get some money out of this guy," and walks over to him. He just wants direction and goes, "Alright, fine, $5 is what Vivian says. He goes, "You cannot charge for direction." He goes, "Oh yeah? Watch me. It's now $10 because I'm not the one who's lost." After a brief moment, Edward decides, you know what, fine, you can come on in. And I don't like that. I really don't think that he would be the one to be like, okay, fine, I think he would go to the next person from what we've seen of him so far. Yes, they do show a scene that he does ask someone, and, they're a smartass to him. But I think they should have done the rule of three, where he asks 3 people and they say no, and then when he gets to her and she says no, and then, he's just like, fine. Come on, let's do this. It just felt like Mika's movie. Although I will give them this. I am glad that they they got this movie rolling. These two characters meet, and we are off for the races about 10 minutes in. So gotta give a Lemmy for that. On the car ride to the hotel, Edward learns that Vivian enjoys cars quite a bit, so he has her drive so she can get off of his coat. And, they have a nice little back and forth, and you can tell Edward is very impressed by her. And y'all know how I feel about little subtle moments that actors do, really deliver character moments for them. So, y'all know what it is. Once at the hotel, Edward decides to pay the $100 an hour and invites Vivian up to his room, which is the penthouse, and it has a killer view, but Edward wouldn't know anything about that because he is afraid of heights. Now, Vivian is not silly, so she tells Edward to wrap his willy, and he could choose from many colors except purple. Damn, I've heard that's the best color, but it's okay because she has the gold coin condom, which is the condom of champions. Edward doesn't like safety, but Vivian tells him, too bad. And once the champagne and strawberries arrive, Vivian tells him that, yes, I appreciate you serenading me, but listen, fella, I'm a sure thing, and you're running out of time. Edward takes care of that by paying for the whole entire night, which is only $300. Wait, what? You mean to tell me $100 an hour, but for you to spend the night's $300? That's a steal! Are there only 3 hours left in the night? Vivian is watching I Love Lucy while Edward is on a business call, and once he gets done, he is just staring at Vivian like this. Now, this gives Vivian the sign that it's time to get down to business, and then she mutes I Love Lucy, and I must say props to her, because I do not do well in those kinds of situations. I remember one time when a girl, was kissing up on me while we were watching Law and Order, and I had to tell her, "No, can we wait till this episode's over? It's really good." It was a pretty good episode. It turned out the mom did it. I did not. Anyways, that's how Act 1 ends, and I must say, I am not happy that they had sex already. I kind of wish it would have built up a little more before the first sex scene. Like, I get it, it's her job and all of that, and that's what he basically paid for. But, just wasn't a huge fan of it. It was also awkward. I don't mind sex scenes, but that one was just... Act 2 kicks off the next day with Edward talking to Philip about wanting to meet Mr. Morris for dinner to get this deal done. Philip said you should bring a date, and this is what gives Edward the idea to keep Vivian for the whole week for a price of $3,000. Again, just why? Like, for the dinner, sure, but for the whole week? This movie just expects us to accept a lot that's going on for this movie to happen. Yep, it's just because movie. Once she gets back from a bad shopping trip, the hotel manager, Barney, played by Hector Elizondo, brings her into his office to talk to her. Now, Vivian thinks that he's going to kick her out and send her to jail. But it actually turns out that he's calling a store up to let her know that Vivian's on her way to pick up a dress. Look, at this point, I've learned to just go with it, and that was really nice. Once Vivian finds out that she is going to a very nice restaurant, she asks Barney to help her with her table manners and to know which forks to use. And that's just so stupid. Different forks, like, come on now. But Barney is super cool, though. Now, once at the dinner scene, it's a really, really good scene. There's some nice jokes about no one really knows which fork to use and how escargot always goes flying everywhere. I'm glad they made Vivian comfortable here. And that, you know, they didn't just embarrass her and just had this really, really awful showing for Vivian that most movies would have gone. It really humanizes the story and makes it feel more real. Although it did not go well for Edward, as there is no deal, and Vivian thinks he's really upset because he actually likes Mr. Morris, and this leads to a nice conversation about how, you know, their jobs are very similar because they don't want to get emotionally attached to their people. Because at the end of the day, they both screw people for money. And I really like that, you know, it's different worlds, but similar lives. And then there's another sex scene, and again, it's really awkward. The next day, Edward shows Vivian how to shop, and after a montage, she has become that pretty woman. Walking down the street, pretty woman, you would like to meet. And then she stops by the store that denied her to show them how big of a mistake that they made. And now that's how you flex. Back at the office, Philip is getting worried about Edward because he's not acting like his normal self. I guess he can just sense the character development that's coming from him. The next day they go to a game of polo, which seems impossible to play, so if you play that game, major props to you. And this is where Vivian and Philip meet, and it just starts a really unnecessary storyline. Where Philip goes to Vivian after he finds out that she's a hooker and says they should hook up after Edward is done with him. And I mean, he went from 0 to 100 real quick. Like, this story just does not need a villain. It should just focus on these two characters and the situation being the villain. I mean, this heel turn just came from out of nowhere. Vivian is upset with Edward and they have an argument. And I get it, but come on, I mean, this could have been fixed with one simple conversation, but rom-com's got a rom-com, I guess. Vivian goes to leave and... Wait. Edward's coming out? He's apologizing? She's listening? They made up? Yeah! No couple argues before the third act cliche. Next night, Edward takes Vivian to the opera, and then Vivian gives the most smooth line ever.
If I forget to tell you later, I had a really good time tonight.
Thank you.
Damn! She said that before the date even started! After the show, they go back to the hotel room and play a game of chess. Vivian convinces Edward to take the day off tomorrow, and he does, and they have a very fun day, which tires out Edward to the max, until Vivian becomes very emotional and kisses him, and they have another sex scene, and this one's actually pretty good, but not worthy of a point. And then afterwards, she says that she loves him, and honestly, Vivian, I would say it too if I was getting paid $3,000 a week. Wait, I love you 3,000. Did Pretty Woman I Love You 3,000 before Avengers made it cool? That's how Act 2 ends, and Act 3 begins with Edward convincing to Vivian that he does not want this to be their last night, and that he wants her to come to New York with him. And he's scheduled everything. He got her a condo, a car, basically everything she ever wanted. But this makes Vivian very upset. She wants the fairy tale, where her knight in shining armor comes in on his white Bronco and saves her from the castle and to actually be with her. Although, he says he cannot do that right now. After he leaves, Kit shows up, and honestly, her character really surprised me here. I thought that, she would, be trying to insert himself, try to take his money or something like that from the movies that I have seen. But no, she's actually very supportive of her friend. Look, if you really like him, you can have this house and all this stuff. You can have all these nice things. I don't know why you're not accepting this and all that. I just really wasn't expecting this from this character, and it was a really nice surprise. At the business meeting, Edward has a change of heart and actually wants to help Mr. Morris now, which upsets Philip. So he goes and attacks Vivian and throws himself on her. What is this character and what is this storyline? It's awful. After helping her clean up and making sure she is okay, Edward tries to convince Vivian one last time for her to stay. She says no, she wants more from him, and they officially call it quits. And honestly, a Lemmy for this. Mature breakups just do not happen in these kinds of movies anymore. Vivian has decided that she is going to San Francisco, and before she leaves, she tells her friend Kit that she has potential, which makes Kit very emotional. Honestly, very relatable. Folks, tell someone who is struggling that they have potential. That is your lemon challenge for this week. The movie ends with Vivian kind of getting her fairy tale ending. Instead of a white Bronco, Edward shows up on a white limo and saves her from her apartment from the highest tower, but just like a castle. Pretty Woman is more than just a story about love. It's also about finding love within yourself. The lesson here is that it's never too late to change. Both of our main characters are completely different from where they first started. And for that, they are better, because they found love within themselves and were able to share it with others. Our first standout goes to that awful storyline with Philip. It was just crap. Our second standout goes to the great ensemble like Barney and Kit. The main leads get the most praise, as they should, but the whole entire supporting cast is great as well. Our third standout performance goes to the whole beginning. It asks us to really accept a lot, but I feel like that really helps to set up how you should approach this movie. So this is one of those rare cases where both Lemmy and Limey share the 5-pointer. So this is how the lemon scale works. If I did not like the movie, it's a sour lemon. If I didn't like it, but there is some enjoyment to it, it is a expired store-bought lemonade. If I liked it, but there's a lot of problems, it's a store-bought lemonade. If I liked it, it's fine, it's a lemonade. If I really liked it and there were some problems, it is a freshly squeezed lemonade. And if I really liked it, one of the best movies ever, 10 out of 10, it is a strawberry lemonade because that is the best kind of lemonade. And with a score of 20 to 15, that makes Pretty Woman a lemonade. Thank you for joining me here at Lemon Studios. Make sure to like, subscribe, and comment. Ring the bell if you haven't already. Or hit the bell. It doesn't really ring. And I will see you here next time at Lemon Studios.